Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about something that annoys me. And pretty much this is the victim mentality. And I'm not talking about the occasional phrase like, oh, my life sucks, or why can't anything good ever happen to me? We all say these things from time to time, but then we get up and go do something about it. No, so I am talking about the people who say these things, fully believe it, and embody it. They lie down, stay down, and refuse to try to help themselves and blame everyone and everything for their problems. Eventually, this can lead to something called learned helplessness. And I've noticed this has become a trend in my lifetime, specifically among the younger generations, mainly Gen Z, but millennials as well. Um, so I understand this viewpoint. There was a time in my life where I felt like giving up and I didn't think anything in my life would ever change. I then realized that if anything, uh, I then realized that if I was going to just lie down and accept defeat, that I might as well try and do something about it and go out trying rather than go out giving up. And I feel like this mentality takes mental strength, which I'm afraid is dwindling in our Western society. People seem to just not have the mental fortitude anymore, at least not the mental fortitude that they once had, or the sheer will to do it just needs to get done. And we see this in every facet of life today. We're seeing men that are refusing to go to work and go to college today in greater numbers. Women are placing blame on the patriarchy for their problems. Radical feminism and masculine ideologies are growing as each gender believes that the other sex is the reason for all of their problems, etc. So it's always easier to find somebody or something to blame for all of your problems and for why we aren't performing or achieving the things that we want to feel or that we want or feel that we deserve. And most people choose the easy option as it avoids accountability. This creates a cognitive dissonance, and people tend to continue to push blame even harder to make up for these feelings of low self worth. So, I mentioned the idea that we feel we deserve things. We don't deserve things, and we're not entitled to anything. Once you believe this, it becomes infinitely easier to take accountability and take action in your own life. Deserve, that word is a trap that tends to lead to a weak, entitled mindset. So, how do we stop falling into this victim mentality? It starts with what I mentioned, believing that you don't deserve anything and you're entitled to nothing. Everything you earn, everything you earn is from your own actions, and for every action, there's a reaction. There are consequences to everything you do, and viewing most things that happen to you as a consequence of your action, not everything, as there are things that are out of your control, but most things as a consequence of your own actions will end up enforcing the idea that positive outcomes can only be acquired from you and your actions alone. So, this will end up creating a self dependency. You will only need to rely on yourself. You will be self reliant. Then you must realize that you have been falling into a self fulfilling prophecy of doom and despair when you blame others. Whether or not someone else is at fault, that's irrelevant. You need to ask yourself, what can I do now to make my situation better? Then you do it. That is the only way forward. This can only work if you are willing to make it work. If you are not willing to personally take the steps and actions to better your life, this will not work for you. Nothing will work in that case. And that's pretty much all my thoughts that I had today about victim mentality. Again, it's something I see rising in our society, and it annoys me because it ends up creating, like I said, this this idea in our that we tend to harbor deep in ourselves that everything we do is for nothing, or we are not responsible for our actions, and we end up lying down and kind of just letting ourselves sit there. Again, the way to change that is by changing your whole mentality around consequences and on life, and learning that the only way to change your life is to do what must be done yourself. You cannot rely on others for this. This is something that you have to learn, and it doesn't matter who or what is even at fault for what's happening to you. All that matters is the actions that you take, as that will change your life. So thank you for listening to me talk about that. And our song of the day wound up being Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime by the Corgis. I really like Beck's cover of this. It's a pretty good cover. So yeah, thank you.